Well, hello, my dear church boys, and welcome to Saint Robert's Day Game Pickup Podcast, an episode on sex toys and how to become a better fuck. I sat down with a girl who works at a sex shop, at a best sex shop in Riga, Latvia, Viki. She is in charge of giving lectures on sex education, education about toys, about anatomy, about how men work, how women work, and how to have a better sex life. In this conversation, we talk about, well, obviously, sex toys. Why should you consider them? Why should you consider using them with both your regulars and new girls you meet? We also talk about why it's so hard for women to reach orgasm and what steps you can take to become the guy she will want to fuck more and more. Wiki gives several resources to learn about sex, books, some online courses, really good stuff that I myself definitely will explore. And then we go a bit deeper into sex toys. What's a good starter toy to get that you can use with multiple partners without worrying about STIs and things like that? And how to go from the first sex toy to owning a fuck machine. And guys, as you know, I do this podcast once a week, maybe once in 2 weeks, depending on how busy I am with infield and Skype coaching. But sometimes there are way more things that I want to share with my audience. And if I have to, I either send them out to my mailing list or I share them in our Telegram Day Game Church group chat where we have over 170 day gamers from all over the world. So if you want to make sure you are not missing those things and you're getting all the resources I'm giving my audience, then make sure you are on my mailing list. To sign up for the mailing list, just go to my website, strobert.blog, that is strobert.blog, and fill any of the forms on the website to join the mailing list. Right now, I am in Budapest, Hungary. I arrived yesterday to coach a student, a lovely plumber from the small island of Malta, Super Mario. The guy who I said if I'm not getting this guy laid, I should probably quit day game coaching. I love the city. It's like a mix between Prague and Belgrade. It has a bit of Turkish influence in architecture. It's a beautiful city. We went out for some beers. I arrived around midnight and we went for some beers and we saw people were out, young people were drinking, having fun. Although they were drinking a lot, I haven't seen that many drunk people in one location for a long time outdoors. But I love the city. Today we're starting coaching. We'll see how the city is for day game, how the girls react to opens, and what works best here. I'm really happy to be coaching again because most of the coaching I've done since COVID started has been Skype, whether it's been analyzing someone's in fields or dates or someone going out in field and me sitting in my apartment listening to their sets while we are on a call while he is in field. So it's great to be out with a student again. I'm really happy to be here. Since I've been having so many Skype coaching calls lately, I decided to make a little adjustment to how I start working with students. I get a lot of questions when guys try to decide what type of coaching to get, whether it's Skype or it's live in field. So I decided to make a really, really simple thing. If you are thinking about maybe getting Skype, maybe getting in-field coaching, what you can do is you can get a Skype coaching call with me where you either send me recorded sets and we will go over them, or if you are not day gaming yet, we will talk about your goals and what you want to do and your experience and what things you would have to solve in your game to become successful. So you can go do a Skype coaching call like that. And if after the call you think that what I do could work for you, then we can do infield coaching, and whatever you paid for the Skype coaching call will go as a partial payment for the infield coaching. And if you decide that you only want to do the Skype coaching call and you don't want to do any infield, then you just pay for the call and that's it. So if you want to do that, just send me an email to robert@strobert.blog. And now without further ado, let's start talking about clits, dicks and sex toys. Hey guys, so I am here with, we'll call her Vicky. It's like an English version of her name. You can go to the description and you can check out her Instagram account and you will understand why I wanted to have this conversation with her. If most of my students, when they see a girl of that style, they're usually like, yeah, I'm not talking to that. I am always the guy that says, shut the fuck up, I'm going in. Because as you guys know, I love the crazy vibe, the piercings, the earplugs and tattoos and all of that shit. But that's not the most important part. The most important part is her job and what she does for a living. Can you briefly tell the guys what it is that you do?
Well, I teach people how to make love in a correct way.
In a correct way.
If there is that correct way.
Where do you teach that?
Well, at shop Sexy Style. That's not just an internet shop, but also the physical shops we have now. And we have those kind of called seminars and lectures where people can come and ask their questions. Of course, they don't ask their questions because they don't know anything. They're just like, oh, tell me everything. I want to know everything. And then you just talk to them about 2 hours. We talk about all kinds of stuff around sex, about toys, about ways, how to use them, how to choose them, and all kinds of stuff. And then they open up, and then the question comes.
And that will be the topic of today. I definitely want to talk about toys and why should even guys bother buying sex toys if they are single and are seeing multiple women, and what's the appeal to it. But before we get into that, I want to just mention about this sex shop, Sexy Style. Well, back in the days before Sexy Style opened, if you wanted to go to a sex shop and buy whatever it is that you wanted to buy, well, you had to go to really shady, strange basements, like places where you, like the windows were tinted and you couldn't see anything inside. And when you go inside, those places were fucking filthy. They were just disgusting. They are
some of them which are still open, they are nasty.
Yes, and I actually was in a rush and I had to go into one time. I needed a lube. And I was actually surprised that they had some decent selection of lubes, not the shittiest version. They had some good shit, but Sexy Style was the first shop that they revolutionized the sex shop industry in Latvia. They opened their pink store, which is like light, like a salmon pink, a bit darker. And it was positive and young people working, because in the other shops, the old ones, it was old ladies, really creepy old ladies.
Quite grumpy faces also.
Yeah, and I doubt they knew a lot about what they were saying. Maybe they did, I don't know. Maybe they were the old school fetishists.
Not really. We sometimes check what they know when we go to shops that still exist, and just to pretend like we don't know anything, ask questions. Of course, we just raise our eyebrows and that's it. We don't talk to them like, oh, I know better or something.
But they are selling fucking machines though. I checked them out recently.
Yeah, but the prices, the quality, the shelf time of those products, they're all like gone and they're with dust and just horrible.
Actually, I have to write this down. I want to talk about fucking machines because you said that's the only thing that's crazier than Doxy.
Yes.
Which is like, so I just wanted to know why.
Also, different kind of stimulation, but if you go into like technical comparison, that's of course stronger.
Okay, we will talk. I will pick your brain for a technical comparison of a magic wand versus a fucking machine. I hope you are qualified to answer that.
Well, I can answer some nuances.
Okay. So you work in this store and your job is, as I know, you're like the head of social media, all the marketing that goes through social media.
Yeah.
You're setting up the events. You're doing the events that I'll be doing and that Erika will be doing about the bondage and Bdsm. And you are doing these, how do you call them, tours?
We call them tours because years ago we really did like excursion type of thing. When people came, they went around the shop and we showed them which shelves was what and why it was there. But then the people started to come a lot more, and we had to make a room for that. And now it's more like lecture type, but we still call them like tours because people are used to that term.
So basically, it's like a paid sales pitch. People are paying to be sold stuff.
Yes, but they think that it's just for fun.
Okay.
Because they think I know everything, I know how sex works, I've done that, I'm an expert, and now we're just having fun. Let's have fun about, I don't know, pink dicks or something.
So am I getting this right? That the idea is that instead of going to a sex shop where if they asked any questions, a sales assistant would try to sell them stuff, whereas here they have paid for the tour, and so you aren't trying to sell them stuff. You're just sitting and having a conversation with them.
Yes.
So we had a little interruption because there is construction going in my building and there was loud noise. And so we moved from the kitchen table to the sofa in my bedroom, leading an escalation 101. No, by the way, guys, just like don't take this wrong. I'm just joking about this. Me and Vicky are
I hope so. You're joking.
We're purely professional. You know that I always joke about shit like this. So what I was asking is when people go on those tours, if they went to the store and asked some questions, they would probably expect sales assistant to sell them something. But when they go to a tour, they kind of pay for the tour, so you aren't trying to sell them something. You are actually just explaining them what is what.
Exactly. They think it's more like entertainment. They don't think that we will try to sell them something. Of course, they understand that they're going to the shop and something will happen, some commercial, something like that. But mostly we have those bachelor parties and they're just having fun over there. And when they go out after the lecture, they're all amazed about how many new things they've learned and what's about all the things. And then they're more than just vibrators and dildos. They're like educated, entertained, and wowed after that.
And they're straight going to the store to buy those prostate massage things?
Not those, but something simple, because most of them are beginners. Most of them maybe used lube once or something like that. But mostly they buy something to use together with partners. Because, of course, bachelorette party, the main character is her, that she's getting married.
So is it a bachelor party or a bachelorette party?
Both. Mostly girls, but some boys parties also. And what they're buying, mostly some stimulating gels, some lubricants, maybe a whip or...
Wait, what is a stimulating gel? Educate me, as I've never used those. I only use lube once in a while.
The main difference is lube for slipperiness, and intimate cosmetics like gels for heightening the sensitivity.
Okay, so I know that there are the warming ones, there are the cooling ones.
Yeah, that's very basic.
What's the thing that heightens the sensitivity? A lot of guys would want to do the opposite way and last longer. I mean, when I was younger, that was my problem. So I know that it's like you hear heightened sensitivity, so it's immediately okay. Tell me more.
For boys, lowering the sensitivity is very high demand because all of you are very how can I say, very sensitive down there. But with girls, I could even call this a problem. Mostly it's the other way around, because all the women, mostly even 30 plus, 40 plus after kids, they want to feel more because some of the senses are a little bit gone, and that's like normal thing, how body goes. And then we offer some creams or some oils, like in a droplet way, so they can use it on a clit or in vagina for tightening the vaginal walls or for heightening the senses on clitoris.
Amazing, some girls do need that.
And that's very interesting when there's those creams that you can like use together with partner. Because, for example, one of the most popular ones are Dragon. It called the Fire and Ice, because it makes you feel the coolness and the hotness, not at the same time, but like in a row. You feel like it's cool and hot, cool and hot, cool and hot.
Sounds like you're doing some drugs.
Um,
And you're cold
yeah,
and you're hot and you're
yeah,
cold.
but that's
I know a
natural
drug that
way.
gives
Yeah,
effect like that.
but that's just a cream you put on your genitals, and it just works in that kind of way. And it's interesting that the cooling effect for guys gives the delay effect. Yes,
Is
that
this
one.
it?
That one. Yeah. The warming effect for both gives the sensation heightening. For girls, it's interesting that girls enjoy the cooling and the warming effect as a increasing sensitivity thing. So it's a very interesting one, and it's very easy to use. Nobody likes to just put something on and wait for 15 minutes. And what can I
Yes.
do for those 15 minutes? Oh my
I have
God,
no
it's so
idea.
boring.
I have no idea
Like
what.
we know it's normal for us to use those kind of things like before the play or during the foreplay or something like that. But for people who know sex as just penetration, they're like 15 minutes. I have to wait, and what can I do with my boner then?
You can do something for like 2 hours, I think, fucking
Yeah.
easily.
But this is like for the lazy persons also. This cream, yeah.
So it's like a sexual stimulation for a lazy person.
For all kind of persons that wants to feel something more interesting, and also the usage is also for lazy.
So this
ones,
is like
yeah.
a beginner thing that when they go out from the tour, the typical thing they would buy would be this dragon cream.
Because sometimes they don't want to buy toy. Because if a girl wants a toy, they first have to talk to the partner.
Oh my God, you don't like my dick because now you have this toy, you
Exactly,
motherfucker.
and
I'm not good enough.
And that's one of the most frequently asked questions. How can I ask a guy so we can get some toy or something? How can not to like make him feel sad or something like that? And that's why they use some creams or something that's like more neutral. Not like going home with the vibrator and he doesn't know what the
So
fuck.
how does a girl bring up this topic with a guy? And because I love sex toys, I love girls having sex toys. I sometimes tell them to bring them with especially if I know. So I have this view about female orgasm that I think it's two parts. One is if I look at what I'm doing. One is me knowing what to do. And obviously, like the more you know the girl, the more you kind of figure out what works for her. But in general, like if you know what you're doing, you kind of know what you're doing. And one of the things you have to know is you have to learn to adjust to new partners and to kind of crack them quickly, which is doable. But that's just one part. The second one is psychological. It's like the ability to open up, to feel free. I mean, for a girl to feel free with the partner. And in Latvia, I think that is a huge problem.
Issue, yeah.
And especially if we're talking, I have to think about Russian girls versus Latvian girls, but I'm working on an article about differences between Latvian and Russian girls in Latvia. There are huge differences
Completely
sexually.
two different corners.
What was I talking about?
The differences.
Oh, so yeah, there are those two things. Oh, yeah, and the way I look at it, if after a while, if after a few times, I know she psychologically isn't still opening up, and I kind of know that by now I should have cracked her, then I know that I'm probably not going to crack her that fast. And then I'm always encouraging them to bring sex toys with them, and you can always make it fun. You can make them play with the sex toy while you're watching or
Just
or
do
whatever.
what you want. Do what you like. Or just
I like to tell them, I like to give them stuff to do, but I think it's a great thing to do, like bringing in sex toys. And I think it's scary for a girl to do it with a guy, using her sex toy with a guy, sometimes if it's a new guy. But what I think happens is once she overcomes that fear,
she's in.
Yeah. She, like the bonding you have, you are way more close. You're much closer, and I think the sex improves immediately just because she overcame this great fear of playing with a sex toy with this guy that she has seen like 3 or 5
and
or
also
whatever.
more
how many
pleasure.
times. Yes, of course, of course.
That's the reason to open up. She's feeling good. She's having those, I don't know, 100 orgasms, and she thinks that the guy is better now. Also.
So how do the girls usually bring up the topic? They start with creams and other stuff. So how do they get to sex toys?
That's a big problem because I know how to do that in like the best way, what to say, but mostly they ask how to talk to the partner, how to bring up this I always suggest them to talk about how great their sex it is now, but how much cooler, hotter things could be with the toy. Not because you are bad, but because we are having so much fun. But imagine if we could do more, if I could feel more, if I could show you how I orgasm 10 times in a row, for example.
Boom. I think that's a good one, because if a girl said, this is good, but it could be better, I'm not taking it wrong as anything bad about myself, but so why I like girls that are kind of pure and haven't been fucked up yet. I know I'm the one that fucks them up. I like that. But if a girl says this is nice, but it could be 10 times better with a toy, I'm like, yeah, I'm not the first one to fuck you up. There has definitely been someone way crazier than I am. It's like, and that really is like a boner killer immediately.
Yeah.
I could literally not be able to get it up with that girl, literally. So that, I think it's a really big pain that girls are having, and I think the great way is really like to offer a guy to watch how she's playing with the toy, and that could work magic, because it isn't about, oh, it could be so much better. It's about, hey, you probably have this fantasy, and I would love to do that.
Yeah. Or just say to the guy that I want to give you more pleasure. I want you to see me having more pleasure, or I want to give you some more. But mostly about something more. Not because it's bad, because it's great, and I want to feel more because I know we can do more because I love you, blah, blah, blah.
I think you have a really tough job. Like when you have to talk to those girls, it's such a tough job. And they go home and they try that.
And they fail, mostly.
They fucking fail, yeah.
And guys are like, where have she been? Like, what the fuck?
And then they say, oh, we went and we spoke to Wiki, and then they show the guys an Instagram picture, your Instagram profile, and it was like, oh, you want to be like that? You want to dress all in black? And like, oh my God.
You are not that kind of girl. I like you normal. Let's be normal. Let's have just normal sex in one position.
Let's go to dinner or whatever, some boring shit.
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing that girls buy, usually bachelorette parties, are some creams.
And lubes, the most basic shit,
Okay. Anything else that... there's definitely something else that they buy. I want to know what the outliers buy, the people that... Like the typical visitor buys a lube or a cream, but there must be some fun stuff.
For the toys, mostly some masturbating stuff for boys. They get the idea that they have to treat the guy, so he understands that with the toy it's also cool or even cooler in some way particular, and then he could open up for a toy for a girl. For example,
so it was like, how do you call them? Like pocket pussies, flashlight things?
Yes. But not the realistic ones. But for example, we have those Tanga eggs that are shaped like really eggs, and they are like one-time use. But the practical Latvians always wash them and use them more and more. It's not like you break it in one time, but it's very small. It's very neutral. Nobody knows what is that. It doesn't look pink. It's not like a real vagina or something. It's just with a texture, like a very thick condom. You just put it on, do some masturbation. Also very clean, very nice, because everything stays in, and then you can throw it out for traveling. Great for honeymoons and stuff like that, or something bigger, but the same idea, to treat the guy in some way, something oral, some tasty lubes, for example, also for him, for us.
I remember I had this ex-girlfriend, and she did this amazing thing with the vibrator, and that's I think that could be a way to bring in a vibrator. That could be a way a girl could bring up the topic of vibrators. She used the vibrator, like, I think under her hand. No, like it's like grabbing a dick with a hand, sucking it, and I think the vibrator was either right underneath the palm, or right above the palm. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it was like she was playing with the vibrator with my dick, and that shit was like. She opened the new world. She opened like a new level of orgasm for me, and I think it's the same. With, like, you can use the doxy for the same stuff.
Too strong, because the hand could go numbing.
Yes, yeah.
And also, for example, it's very nice to use some vibrator around the mouth, when you're giving the blowjobs. But
that's
if
a
it's
good
too
one.
strong, like Doxy, she'll just vibrate her brains out.
All her fillings in her teeth will fall out.
Yeah. For you, it could be like, oh my god, amazing, because the vibration goes through and you feel the mouth and the vibration and everything. But for her, it's just like brain
She has
blowing
to go
out.
to the hospital. Damn, I have to find a girl who can do that.
It's possible to do it with smaller vibrator, like some wands also, but smaller ones with deeper vibrations. Not like the buzzy ones, but the rumbly ones.
The one that looks like a necklace.
That's very buzzy. Very, very buzzy.
Yes, I was surprised because the guy who runs Sexy Style said it's a great thing, but I tried it and it felt like, first of all, I want to buy it because it's so tiny and you can wear it as a necklace. I would totally do it.
I have it. It's great.
And
it's
people
fantastic.
would know that what it is.
Yeah.
Some people would know, and I like that kind of stuff. But the thing with that toy, it was very buzzy, very strong. And I thought as a first toy, it's way too strong. It's hard to play very light with it, with the clit. I don't see...
You have to know how to use it. I completely understand that it's too strong, but it's too strong when you go directly on the clit.
Yeah, what I
when
would
you
do
just
is...
tickle around.
Yes.
And then you can do whatever you want with the clit. But you have to tell that. And we always tell that.
Yep.
Like when people choose the first toys, we always say that this is better to use that way. Not directly on the clit. Like you bought the Doxy, she comes after work and legs spread and you start in the first second. She comes in, I was like, nope, that's the worst.
And she hates the shit, definitely.
Yeah. There was a story with the womanizer also, like we call it the best toy for a clitoris. Yeah. They have like 6, 8 or 12 settings, like the intensities. But once a guy turned on the 12th one, like the strongest one, put it on and like she didn't like.
Of course.
Like
that one has 12. You're right. So actually, guys, the sex toys that we're talking about right now, you can go to my website. And in the blog post for this episode, I will link to them so you can actually see what we're talking about. I've already saved the link for the dragon cream. And now I'm saving this necklace type of vibrator. It's called Crave Whisper. The fuck is that? Sounds like a Viking name. It's just some crazy shit. What I would do with it is I would probably put the finger on a clit and then do it through the finger, but that's a whole different topic. So what else are girls buying? How many people you have that go to the
5
tour?
to 10.
No, I mean when they go to the tour, and how many people are there that they're kind of there for the first time, but they buy some interesting shit instead of like a lube or...
It depends on how active the company is, because there are all kinds of... The ones are skeptical, for example, then you can get like a girl that's very interested in something, but all the others are like, no, I have to think, I have to consult my husband, and of course the one also with her feeling like goes down and then buys nothing. But if they drink a lot, if they're very having like a really fun time, then they could even spend like quite a lot. It depends on the feeling of the company, what's the mood.
So what's the craziest thing someone has bought after the tour, knowing that they haven't had many crazy sex toys beforehand?
Yeah, I had one lady about 50 years old or something, very experienced and with quite sad experiences also, and she bought 2 very expensive vibrators. Like one was 119, the MyStim, the electrical electrical vibrator, and the Stronic, the one that pulsates, not the vibrator, but like the pulsating one. And that was about 150 euros or something, and that was the craziest thing, because not because the toys are crazy, but because she bought 2 for herself. And at the same time, that was a bit crazy, because she was so desperate, and that was quite sad. She had very bad experience with men. Yeah.
Is that MyStim that good?
If you use it how you have to use it, like in the right way, it's quite amazing, because electricity gives that contracting feeling, like the
Yes.
orgasm contractions, and you can train with it. You can strengthen the pelvic floor muscles, or just use it for foreplay to like warm up. Increases the blood flow all around, and then girls feel more with the walls that mostly are very not sensitive at all, but with this she can like warm up and feel like everything.
Because I've played with how do you call those things? I forgot. Like the ones that are like patches that you put on the body, and you can like this
also
electricity
yeah,
stuff with the wires and everything. What was the name? You do
also
sell that stuff.
MyStim.
Yeah,
The
I
company
think,
is MyStim, but for every toy there's
yeah.
the
So I
name.
played
But
with
I
that,
know,
and it was pretty crazy,
Yeah.
pretty dope stuff.
Those are a bit more difficult because all the wires, and you have to know where to put them and what to do with them.
Yep.
Because mostly people just put them on chest. Very, very dangerous, because the heart, you don't know the heart problems, all the stuff, and the wires are not very sexy and stuff like that. But with this toy, it's very nice because it's the only one that's with this electricity without wires.
Yeah. So what about guys? When guys go on those tours, like their bachelor parties, what happens there?
Lots of alcohol, lots of laughing, but I quite like those parties because when they drink a few beers, or I don't know, the little liter of the rum bottle goes gone, they finally ask those questions: where the clit is, what to do with it, what is G-spot, how to pleasure her. Those hard basic questions they finally ask, because when they go in all sober and cool, I know everything, those arms crossed and all like all like the alpha males, in that moment. But when they drink and when they understand that I'm talking about like the health stuff, the pelvic floor and stuff, they understand that it's more difficult to understand. The women are not the same, and then there's more stuff to know, more stuff to use. And then they're like, oh, now I get it. Now I get why there's so many toys, why there's so many ways to pleasure her, and what's the best. And then they ask, what do you like? I say, that doesn't even, you can't relate to me, because your woman could be totally different.
Yeah.
I could say I have like 10 orgasms in a row also. What could it give to you? Like nothing. It's just my personal experience. Or I can't get orgasms. That's my problem, for example. You can't really use that in your kind of relationship also. So I suggest them what to do with her, like his girlfriend, for example, and they all say very big thank you to me after that. I don't know if they try something or not, but they are like finally get the answers, not from the Google, but from a real person.
Okay, sounds interesting. Okay,
they buy less, but they buy less.
What do they buy?
One of the last things I give them to try is one of the sensation cream, also for heightening sensitivity. That's the different one, not the dragon, but the one you can try on your lips. It gives very, very like tingling pulsation effect, and they're all like also amazed. And I want that for my for my girl, yeah. For kissing, for blowjobs, for clitoris. That's the interesting thing. They have to be very, very amazed with something to buy.
Okay.
Because they're in a different mood. They're in a party mood, not in a buying mood, not in a like planning mood or something. But that cream goes quite well. Sometimes a whip, but just for fun, not because I want to do some like really BDSM.
They buy whips because they're drunk stag dudes.
Yeah, they want to hit something. It's just fun. Yeah.
I remember you telling the story how in one of those parties, in one of those tours, parties, whatever you call them, like grabbed the whip and like
touched me a little bit.
Yeah, and like was
he was
excited.
So happy. Oh my god.
Yeah, like excited, like it sounded excited like a little kid.
Yeah. But mostly I hit them. Well, as I call, I pleasure them by hitting.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
But it's quite hard because they're with jeans and all drunk. You have to hit really, really hard.
And they probably want to show that they can take the beating.
Of course. But I know I hear that they're in pain, and I love it in that moment because it's just for fun. And with girls, I do the same. But for girls, I have a little bit of different thing to make. I like to take the girl that doesn't like, basically she thinks that she doesn't like, and give something to her. Then she's like, oh, wasn't that bad, even liked it. Like to change her mind completely. Mostly with those the main girl of the bachelor party, and when she's like, oh, no, but every other girl's like, you have to go, where else? When else?
So guys, what you hear is a girl who's an expert in spanking girls,
Yeah,
and
for
how
money.
she does it, yeah. When you listen to it, the girl says, oh, I don't do shit like that, I'm not like that, blah blah blah, and
I
then
don't like being hit.
she's leading,
Mm.
and all of a sudden this girl goes for all the crazy shit. Does it relate to any stories?
Yours?
You like stories about girls who don't sleep on the first date, who don't do whatever, and then an hour later, boom, all because of leading. I think this was a perfect analogy. Hearing Vicky tell this story, it was like heartwarming for me. It's like this good girl who doesn't do crazy shit gets spanked in front of all her friends.
Yeah.
Because I have this friend who runs these parties, and so he's bored from dating. He's really, really good at meeting women. And so he got bored from sleeping with them. And what he started doing, and this story shows how crazy things girls can do if you create the right environment. And what he would do, he would go on the first date. He would understand they are ready to sleep with him, but he wouldn't take them home and wouldn't sleep with them. And then once a week on a Friday, he would set up parties at his place. And he would invite all the girls that he had been on a first date with.
Wow.
He had one of the girls he was seeing regularly, and then a lot of new girls and some friends with girls. And the party would start as simply sitting on a roof, drinking some wine, chilling out. Then the roof gets closed because it's late, and so they have to go in the apartment. And in the apartment, they start like talking about interesting things, crazy adventures, wild stuff they've done. They start playing games where they have to pretend that like different shit. And those parties usually end as orgies.
Of course.
With girls that he hasn't slept with, who've never done this. And he learned it from a guy in Kiev who he witnessed how he invited 8 girls to a party. They all came. 4 of them participated in the orgy the same day. So I think it's an incredible example, just as the one you told, about how creating the right environment and the right vibe can open people up to really crazy experiences. And talking about that, so you have those bachelorettes coming to your parties, and you spank them, and they're like, oh my God, I like this shit. Well, how are they feeling about their idea about getting married after seeing this new world?
That's very interesting. I have some stories because some of the girls started to cry. Mostly it was when my colleague, the guy, also did the same thing. Like, he does not do spanking, but he plays with electricity with them, and he tells what he's doing with her girlfriend, for example, and they are all like sitting wet, and like even the married ones, and some start crying sometimes.
Like literally crying.
Yeah, like running out, because they understand that they could never experience that thing with the partner they're having at the moment. In my experience, some get sad. That's fun for me because at that moment I understand I changed the thinking. She thought it was quite okay. Oh, my sex life is okay. Like, that's good, but that's not good. If your sex life is okay, hardly okay, then it's not good. And then they understand that there's something more to experience. And they get sometimes a little bit sad, mostly excited. Like, mostly it's like a positive feedback. They ask a lot of questions, how to do that, how to introduce with the new stuff, and some of them ask me questions privately after, like the direct questions, and some of them are saying that they have to get a divorce.
And they do?
I don't know. It could be so fun
that's
to
so
know.
amazing.
Yeah,
I
but
love
some of
this
them,
shit.
some of them like for fun. But I had some serious faces, like women 40 plus or something. They're like, "Oh wow, I thought something wasn't right. Now I understand what."
Yeah.
Like when I tell them that your pleasure is in the first place, when it's possible for you to like come first, and she's like, "How? My sex is like 2 minutes. He comes, we sleep. That's it." And
So wait,
yeah.
do people actually have sex like that? Because it's like a different world. I don't know that world. I've never been like.
Unfortunately, a lot of like married couple sex in Latvia ends with him coming, and that's it. And he's imagining that she had something, maybe because she faked or something, because most of women, like traditional thinking women, are very, very into kids, into work, and they're very tired, and they don't even want to do the whole scenes, for example, you are planning. They're too tired even to imagine that we could play like for an hours. Like, I don't have time for that. I have to just sleep, just fuck for 2 minutes. It's good for you. Just go to bed because I have a lot of work. That's completely different world. Like, you can't even imagine. That is very sad.
Now
We're
I
working
see.
with that.
Now I see why you saw the big opportunity in what I offered you to do and doing these lectures on scene planning and intro to BDSM. It's kind of for those couples, and like to really bring them into this world of quality sex.
Because, like, yeah, they want to experience something, they want to have something, but they don't know anything about it. How to, what, why, when. They don't know anything about it.
Okay, so up to this point, we've been talking about girls that are in relationships and guys that are in relationships. Let's talk about guys that
Aren't in
live more of a Saint Robert lifestyle. Guys that are single, and so my typical listener, just so that you understand, so they kind of understand my lifestyle, and I always have a few girls I'm seeing regularly, and then each month I have a few new ones, and so they are either living the same lifestyle, but only a few of them. Most are aspiring to that lifestyle and working towards it. But most of the guys have a few girls they're seeing, or they get a new girl here and there, and they kind of have, we call it a rotation of girls. So a guy that has a few girls he's sleeping with and once in a while gets a new one, why would he start exploring the topic of sex toys?
That's a very big question.
And by the way, I'm doing this conversation, but I'm doing this for me.
Yeah.
I kind of understood that you know the guys, you know the girls, and I can pick your brain about stuff that interests me as well. So yeah, so why would a guy do that?
I can compare it with the marriage, for example. Mostly in marriage, they use sex toys to just get some new sensations because of the boringness of their life. But in those kind of relationships, if we can call them, like meeting just girls, it's also more interesting. It does not solve some problems. It does not give like more sense, or just something like, it does not give more value to that. It just gives more fun.
More fun.
And also, if you, like a guy, you want to pleasure her, your dick is not the first option, even.
Of course.
Even anatomically.
Of course.
For girls. The vagina is not meant for pleasure at all. Like, basically, anatomically speaking.
It's meant for pain.
It's meant for getting the sperm and pushing out the baby. That's the main thing of it.
So two very painful things: the sex and and giving a birth. No, I'm
because
joking.
there are interesting statistics, because the percentage of orgasms in lesbian relationship are way higher than in like normal relationship, as we call it. Like,
so how does a guy improve his percentage?
Firstly, educate himself. know all the stuff, know anatomy, like physiology, the technical stuff about the toys. The pleasure anatomy is the most important. You have to know not just where the clit is and what to do with it, but why it works that way, why it works that way, why it's in there, what's the similarities between clitoris and penis, what's the differences. Like, if you know that anatomically, you can amaze the girl with the things she doesn't know even.
Okay, so saying educate yourself about those things, we could give a list to guys and they could like do their Google research, but everyone's lazy, including me. Maybe there is a resource you can point towards and say, hey, like read this book or watch this video series or check this YouTuber, he explains shit very well.
Yeah, the first thing that comes to my mind is the book. I think it was Norwegian or Sweden girls from that region. Viva la Vagina. The book, very, very basic things about women's anatomy. All about the cycle, the period, why she feels like that in that day, why she feels like that in that day, all the functions of our organs and everything. That's the basic you have to know.
I think the could it be? Wait, let me check. I think the English name title is The Wander Down Under. Right?
Yes, this one, the right one. Yeah.
So wait.
The original language is not English, I think, but it is translated. Because I'm reading it right now in Latvian, so there is options. And this, for example, is the basics of women's body to understand
so
how,
I will
how
have
it works.
to find the English version. Guys, the English version of the book will be linked in the show notes. Just go to saintrobert.blog and in menu click podcast and find this episode and you'll find the link to the book. Because I'll definitely read it. Any other resources that you suggest guys check out on,
about the information about the BDSM stuff, I can suggest the Kink University. That's the different kind of story, because the book was about the basic anatomy, but the Kink University is about all the kinks, and they are making videos. They're just sitting half naked or not even naked. They're talking. For example, today we will do spanking. I will show you how to do that. Or today we will do fisting. This is my model, this is me, and we are going to show you how to do that. And it's very interesting because they really show, they talk during the...
yes. Is it this one?
Yes. And you can find like information about every single activity you can do and how to do it, like caning, whipping, dominating without any tools, even like initiation to BDSM, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
And all the stuff in between those two, like the book and the Kink University. They're like.
So what else? Yeah. What other resources should guys explore?
Maybe I can think about it and we can link something afterwards.
Yes,
because at this moment, these were like two. I really like the basic book and the Kink University for all the kinks, but we can link something else afterwards. Because I don't know what's in English and what's not. So.
Okay, you can just send them to me and I'll add them to...
Yes, of course.
I'll add them to show notes when I publish this podcast tomorrow, but if you send them later, I will send them out to the mailing list as additional resources probably a week from now or so. So if you want to get them, make sure you are on a mailing list. If you're not, just go to saintrobert.blog and fill any of the forms on the website and you'll be on the mailing list. It's that simple.
But that was just the first suggestion for guys to know stuff.
Yes, so that's what I want to say. Let's get back to it. So what else?
And when you know everything, you are confident. And confidence is the sexiest thing ever. You can act like you are confident, but if you fail with something, like you can look very confident. Some guys use it as like just to get to a girl, like in bars, like very cocky, they get to the bedroom in those 2 minutes, nothing happens. Like, and girl, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you were this like alpha dude. Wait,
who
told this crazy story? I heard this crazy story about a guy. he meets this girl and seduces her. He had really good game, so he seduces her, takes her to the bedroom, like comes really fast, and the girl just says, "All this game for this?"
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't. Was it from a movie or was it from another guy that I know? I don't remember where this story was from. But so confidence is the next one.
Yeah, because when you know stuff, you can confidently do that. If you worry about something, exclude that thing. For example, I worry about, I don't know, anal sex, but I want to do it. Explore it that deeply, then you're confident what to do, and then you can get like fantastic experience for yourself and for girl.
Yeah.
Because we feel insecure about things we don't know. That's normal, but you can just get the information, try with something, for example, get the girl, and you can clearly say, for example, I want to try that, I've never done that. Well, if she done that, it's great. If you both don't, okay, explore for the first time, but communicate in that way that she understands that you're not here to like show her show, but really to try it together to know how that is.
Yes.
And for other girls, then you can perform, of course, because you can't do everything with that one girl.
Yes, that's actually how I view bondage and BDSM. Like there are things that I know and that I know well, and I'll do them to random girls, even if it's not like a serious scene and isn't that planned out. But I'll still implement them. But when there is something new, like there is a new tie I want to work on, or something like that, I will meet one of the girls that I'm seeing on a regular basis, and I'll tell her, hey, like I wanna work on this. Like this is my idea. We'll see. I've been thinking after seeing that amazing video that was going through your office,
okay,
the vacuum bed. I honestly I wanna try breath play. After seeing that, I wanna take like it like divided by 10, and I wanna go in like I don't wanna go deep because that's number one. Like breath play, if I'm not wrong, is the number one cause of death in BDSM. So I don't want to go deep.
Yeah.
But and I know that's something you should explore a lot in theory before you even try anything. Even choking people, like
even doctors fail with these fetishes. Even doctors fail. So you have to be like almost a doctor. You have to know all the breathing issues.
I read about the story. Did I send you the PDF about the breath play? Because I sent it to the colleague. I don't remember his name.
No,
I'll have to send that to you. It's an amazing breath play PDF to Vikija. I'm following the time. Don't worry. I'll send it to you because it had some incredible stories, and one of the stories was paramedic. Was some serious bondage, and the chick had a ball gag. He didn't notice she puked, and she died. He just didn't see it. It was in Canada, I think, and it was like he didn't go to jail just because there was no choking. It was an accident. But with the breath play, the thing is you cannot give consent to someone like doing anything bad to you, like choking you. That's not a consensual thing. Even if you give consent, it's like if a person dies, your consent doesn't mean shit. You still go to jail. So that was an exception.
Because you did not give consent to dying.
So in the idea in that case was since he wasn't doing any breath play, it was an accident.
Okay. Yeah,
if there was breath play involved, he would go to jail because it was a murder, even though consensual, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Well, there is no such thing as consensual murder.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like you can consent to a breath play, knowing the risks, but it doesn't mean shit if shit goes sideways.
So that was purely accident.
Yes, legally that was an accident, but you know the story from Italy, I think it was about the guy who tied up those two girls. That's two guys. Like there is one of the most famous. One of the if you ever explore bondage, which is not the topic of today, like where you should never tie anything around the girl's neck. There was this crazy story about a rigger. Rigger is someone who ties girls up. It's called rigger. So he tied up these two girls, and there are different versions to the story. The one I read was they both had a rope around their neck, and in order to be able to breathe, they both had to be on their tiptoes, and both girls were drunk. And there's a different version of the story, but it doesn't really matter. The idea is they were both drunk, the rigger was drunk. One of the girls passed out, and so they were both connected. If one of them falls down, the other one is being hanged, and they both died because the rigger was drunk and he left safety scissors in his car, and that's just so. Whenever you explore anything from King University, be sure to follow safety guidelines. Don't do stupid shit because accidents do happen. They have happened to me. Crazy shit happens and has happened. So yeah. So knowing what to do, confidence. What else guys have to do?
And be interesting.
Be interesting.
Yeah, because for girls, there's always this thing, I want to do something interesting, I want to eat something interesting. Like, it may be not that interesting for you, but you have to do some lot of options for girls, so she likes it and she thinks that there is more. Oh, he does that and that, so there's more. If she gets the idea that you are boring, done.
Yeah.
Because why girls do shopping all the time? They want new stuff, something new, new experiences, new stuff, new shoes. I wear them once, boring. I need new ones. And with sex, it's the same.
Okay.
And that's why also relationship at the start of the relationships work best, because it's something new. Everything is new and everything is interesting. Mostly in marriage, guys are like, okay, they're having regular sex, it's okay. But the first ones that are not getting enough pleasure are girls, because they are not excited anymore. It's very hard for them to get excited, to be aroused, because I see that guy every day. He has dirty socks, not shaved and everything. I see him, I don't know, lazy after work, and it's not an alpha male for me.
And like peeing with doors open.
Yeah,
like,
and
never do that.
And
what
the
fuck?
farts and everything.
Yeah.
I think it's so funny because some of people think that starting to know those everyday things, it's like a measurement for their relationship.
No,
for example, we love I love you that much that I can let you fart around me, for example. But do you want to have sex with that guy? Technically, it could work.
Yeah, but it's like
But do you really want it? Do you want to eat him? I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to have that urge inside of you that he is like, I don't know, like the apple you need and you can't get, but you want it. Not like the farting everyday husband.
So guys, keep the I want him but can't get him kind of vibe.
A little bit. Not like can't get at all and get jealous and go away.
Make them be a bit jealous, guys.
Yeah. A bit, not too much.
So the way I do this, the interest, like leaving room for oh, there is this, there is that. My apartment right now, like I'm going away, and there is a friend staying in this apartment while I'm away, so everything is away. But like that tiny shelf is all covered in ropes usually, and has like ball gags and shit laying around, and so when I take a girl home and she's like doesn't know anything like that about me, she walks in here and there's like ropes everywhere. And
how many dogs do you have?
How many dogs? Yeah. Yeah.
What's with those chains and whips?
Yes. So I always love doing this. I don't tie them up. Like sometimes I do in the first time.
You know the reaction really. They just look at that shit and.
Like sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. The ones that react to it are the naughtier ones, and the nice ones they don't. But I know deep inside that they're the ones that come back. The shy ones, the quiet ones. And
they can even be afraid to react.
Maybe.
Because like she sees something, it's quite scary, but I would like to try that, but I will say nothing because I'm not like that. What he will think about me.
Well, I think I thought about what to leave outside because like I usually keep my stuff in the closet. Yeah. So I only leave stuff like ropes and a ball gag out. Like I have masks with like only mouth open. I don't leave that shit outside because that's
advanced.
That's still crazy. I don't leave that outside. But stuff like ropes, I think it's interesting to many girls, and most haven't explored it. So it's a nice thing to have the thing laying around to arise those questions, and I think it's really important. So what else guys should know to improve their odds of making their ladies come and then come back for more?
What else? I think the else is on you. Well, you like
yes,
you did all the scene stuff, because I can give suggestions what to do with them before, but all the scene thing, if she will be amazed about what you did to her, she will come back.
Yes.
And the communication after that also very, very important.
I did a podcast on how to plan a scene. Actually, the seminar we're doing is like extended version of a podcast I did, but I think I will refine the material after giving a few seminars, and I'll probably either make a new podcast on it or I'll make a video course or something like that on scene planning, because I really think it's an important thing. So let's get back to the sex toys a little bit, because I want guys to, after listening to this podcast, to go out, go to the sex shop and buy some toys. What do you think are the things that hold guys back from buying toys, given that it's not for a relationship, it's for casual? And casual doesn't mean, because that's the wrong impression people get about me. My lifestyle isn't bringing a random chick home, fucking her and never seeing her again. Oftentimes it is, because we kind of, if the first and second times you sleep is bad, then the third is not going to be better. But so it's those guys, they are sometimes seeing a girl once, and they'll probably will not use those toys with the girl they sleep with for the first time, but with someone they sleep with for the second, third, etc. times. So buying sex toys for those scenarios, what are some things that are holding guys back from buying them?
The competition. They think that their dick will be competed with the toy, and that there are only those dildos and vibrators, the penis-shaped ones. If you educate yourself, you know that there are toys meant for girls' pleasure that doesn't look like penis, meant for your pleasure, for example, that also are not just the pocket pussies or something. Then you know, and then you have options what to use, what will make you feel comfortable, and not like the one more dick in your bedroom, for example. That's the most fear, that she will like the vibrator more than my dick.
Yeah, of course.
And technically, maybe it's better for, well,
of course it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
for
she
her,
can
like,
from a toy.
Yeah, because vibrator is meant to give pleasure for women.
Well, I can give you a comparison where you will understand it immediately. Porn.
Yeah.
Like, guys, if you watch porn, there is no girl that will arouse you like porn. That's it. Like, you can have like two girls in front of you giving you a blowjob. It's not porn. Porn is better. So that's why I don't watch porn, because it really affects my performance with girls. And I know a lot of guys in my audience, the guys that listen to my podcast, they have the same thing. They say, hey, I met this girl, couldn't get it up. Why? It's like, well, how often are you masturbating? How often are you watching porn? I watch porn every day. Well, keep masturbating. Cut out the porn, don't do that. And it's so I think it's kind of the same with sex toy. Yes, it's better than it's better than a dick.
Technically
it's better than a dick. Well, the best thing you can do is like mix it with a dick.
Yeah. So do not choose one of them, mix it together. Because most of the toys, if I look like for couple play, most of the couples or guys to play with a girl choose something to stimulate the clitoris while penetration. It's the most classical thing. It will be pleasurable for him and for her, for both happy.
Yeah.
Why not? And there is no competition between us, because the clitoral toy can be like a small bullet or a womanizer that even doesn't look like a bullet or a vibrator or anything like that. She will come, you will, and you're both happy.
So the thing with a womanizer is you have to be really precise with it.
Yeah.
So a guy will I wasn't able to figure it out if I was holding it. I had to have the girl holding it.
Yeah, mostly it is like that.
Yeah, so you have to have a girl that's really open to toys and that's very confident. A lot of them are not. So you'll
then
still
it's a vibrator. Then it's a classical one. Yeah.
So can you give like a typical suggestion, like a suggestion for the first vibrator to buy, so that the guys can use them with the girls, knowing this is important that it's not going to be used with just one girl. So hygiene has to be taken into consideration. It's something that probably isn't porous, so like silicone toys will probably not work. So something that can be cleaned. So what are the options that guys? Yes, that's a problem for me right now. I want to buy something new. I can use the Doxy. I always use it with the condom, and I got the black condoms.
That is the easiest thing to do. Massager, Doxy, or something smaller with the condom on its head.
Okay. Can you tell me which like what's a good like go to first vibrator or whatever, and what comes to your mind? And I'll link it in the show notes so guys know what to go with.
If we talk about the classical shape, like the microphone shaped ones, that also doesn't look like penis. That's kind of good in this situation.
Are they under clitoral stimulation?
No,
on the website?
you can search in Finder Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk. They're very pretty. Also, if the girl is quite girly and like that one.
This one?
The vibration for this one is very, very mild. It's very rumbly. Doesn't give any buzziness, any tickliness, but it really, really stimulates. Like really massages.
So it's very high frequency, not as strong, right?
I could say it's quite mild, but the vibration is very, very nice. It's not tickling, it's not buzzy.
So the thing with Doxy and the stronger sex toys, the frequency, do you understand the idea about frequency? So the frequency is low, pretty low. So what's with the frequency with this one?
Also low.
Also low.
It goes quite deep. And that's why this one is also great to put under a girl's chin while blowjobs and stuff like that, because
not losing her teeth.
Because it will just it will make the body go, like vibrate, not just in that spot where it's touching.
And it's very reasonably priced. I mean, €70 for a good
and
toy.
Also, you can put a whole toy in a condom, because it's like, I don't know, 20 centimeters. I don't know how it was. Not just the head. If you use something bigger like Doxy, you mostly put only the head in a condom. If you use some vaginal toys, you technically can put them in a condom, but they will not look good. And they will not give the feel for girl that it's safe.
But this one is like, for use with the condom.
And it's interesting that when you press the button, the intensity escalates. It does not have like the rhythms and stuff like that. Clitoris don't really enjoy. It gives just the intensity. It's non-stop vibrating with the option of doing.
So that's like the go-to first
very
toy.
Beginner stuff. And it's prettier than some of the magic wands, like the classical magic wands that have these rubber heads, for example, wires.
They are fucking hot. But that's my style.
If they're black, they're okay. But if they're white, they can get like the yellow white.
I have a black one,
they are strong. Yes, they're classic. Yes, it's very easy to use when they're like plugged in. But this one is chargeable, so I suggest this one a lot. And also from this company, all of the others are quite classical ones. The small bullet, or the bullet with curved end for the G-spot, or the one that's a little bit bigger also for the G-spot. Something that's multifunctional, for outside, for inside, also good with the curved end, not penis shaped, but something like a tool, like a spoon shaped, or just with curved end. That's something very, very neutral, and with that you can massage, I don't know, the nipples, the back, inner thighs, everything. And also Fun Factory Volta. That's something completely different. If you need more toy examples, the company Fun Factory creates really great toys. We almost love.
I've heard about this.
We almost love everything from Fun Factory.
So, but is it possible to use this with multiple partners?
Multiple partners.
And is it silicone probably?
It is silicone. This is mostly of the idea of the multifunctional toy. But not.
I don't think it's
because it's easy, because it's hard to cover it.
Yes, exactly. So that so.
But you can check what really not to use with partners. For example, this one is great with the one partner, but if you have to use, the condom will cover the idea of the splitted ends.
So guys, don't get this, because I don't want you to sleep with just one girl. Don't be a pussy.
That's a bad example, but good example
Bad
for
example.
for the
For the-
second part.
for-
But if you want to get married,
If you want to get married and you have less than 50 lays, obviously, actually, I mean, if you have slept with less than 100 girls, if you are younger than 35 and you want to get married, then go see a therapist, because that is not something you should do if you have less than 100 girls on your list. But that's just my opinion.
of course. The most hygienic materials are glass and metal,
Yes.
but they do not really vibrate.
Yes.
You can use some glass butt plugs. They're very safe. You wash them with hot water.
I just
and use
bought
them.
one a few days ago.
Yeah, or some metal dildos or glass dildos. They're great for you don't even have to use it with a condom.
Yeah.
Because it's not
do you have
non-porous.
to,
Yeah.
How do you clean them afterwards? Is it just washing them off, or do you
Firstly,
have to
you wash it with warm water. Then you wash it with hot water, almost boiling. If the quality is good, it will not not damage. With metal, it's very hard to break it. Yeah, but with glass,
do you have to sterilize them between partners, or?
It's better to do that.
Okay.
Just to be sure.
Yeah.
Technically, you don't have to do that because hot water kills all the bacteria you need. But the sprays for toy cleaning, also the ones with some labels, anti-herpes, I don't know, anything else.
So right now in COVID times, you can get anything that you would use for cleaning your hands, I think, and clean your sex toys with. If it's 70% or more alcohol, I assume it
and then wash it with water again to rinse off the alcohol.
Of course.
Because it is very, very common mistake for cleaning toys. Of course, you can make them very clean with alcohol. I don't know, vodka or alcohol, the medical one, but then wash the alcohol leftovers off.
So what would be? Let's talk about one more thing. So if they start with a toy like that, what would be like a hardcore version of a sex toy? Like the guy gets the first the pillow talk thing, and so what's the hardcore thing they can get?
Then of course you go to stronger vibrators, stronger massagers, and when you go to the doxy and that's not enough, then you get a fuck machine.
So what's the thing with the fuck machine? Isn't that like a fucking dildo that fucks you and that's it?
Yes.
What's that? Yeah. So why not just use a dick?
I
don't get that thing though. Yeah.
There are girls that are called like power queens. That they are two options. They are bored, like they need the stimulation very, very strong, or they have used so many things that they do not feel anything that's small and then less intense, and then you use a fuck machine. If you are a guy and you can work like 2 hours in a row, for example, if she needs that, okay, you don't need a fuck machine.
Okay.
But if she needs that really, really long penetration stimulation, really with some bigger toy, or that fast that physically isn't possible for humans also, then the option is fuck machine.
So guys, get a pillow talk vibrator and get a fuck machine. Be a stud. And if you find a version you can throw in a backpack and travel with around the world, send me a link. I'll buy that fucking thing.
And also fuck machines are very, very fun for parties.
Yes.
Because those attachments, you can change them. And girl can have her own attachment, or you can use it with a condom, for example. If you buy some good one, they mostly come without any attachments. So you can then buy your own silicone dildos, good ones, great ones for every girl, different one. If they are cheap, sometimes they come with some rubber or jelly things that are very, very bad.
Okay.
They're very allergic and they smell not nice. Those are like the same cheap dildos. Don't buy cheap dildos that stink.
Okay.
They're very bad for health.
Well, I think me and the guys will have a lot to think about, a lot to read for sure. But what I understood in this conversation, I understood just one thing: we have so much more to talk about, sweetie.
Yes.
I mean, we have
This
so much
was
more
like
to talk
an
about.
intro.
I mean, I expected for us to chat about like 30, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour. We've been at it for 1 hour, 10 minutes, and I feel we have just gotten started and we have so much more to talk about. So
it's the same about my seminars. Most women come in and what we can talk about like 2 hours, it's so long. And then we talk 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, and they're like, but more, I want to know about this and know about this. Can we say here more? Like kids, can we play more?
So let's put a bookmark in this. I will go on a trip, but I'll come back. And I hope we will do this. We will do part 2 because this was a very interesting conversation. I have a lot more questions I would like to ask you, and I hope we cover them another time because this really was interesting to say the least. I want a fuck machine. I want a fuck machine. Like I have a lot of things that I want a fuck machine.
I can suggest you one. It's not small, but it's very nice.
No, I have this idea that when I will move, when I will live permanently in one place, I will have a separate room for play because I need you know, the apartments like on the top of the building where you have those like huge wooden things and like next to the roof, next to the ceiling that you can use for bondage. Like I wanna, like my next Airbnb will have that thing.
Great.
It's just
I want to see that just to check out what are you doing.
Okay, well guys, if you have any questions you want to ask Wiki, send them to me, to my email, robert@strobert.blog. That is robert@strobert.blog, and I will collect them all and ask Wiki the next time we're having a coffee, or preferably something more interesting than coffee. That's it, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Wiki, a lot. This has been amazing. Thank you.
Bye.
Guys, I hope you not only learned something new, but you're gonna put the new knowledge to good use and explore different adventures with your regulars, with new girls you're seeing. I really hope this was valuable. If you like this, then do a really nice thing to me. If you're listening to this on YouTube, give this video a thumbs up to help me reach more people. Or if you're listening to this on iTunes or any other podcast platform, please just go to the podcast page and give this podcast a 5-star rating if you like it, to help me reach more people and help more guys become better with women and start dating women they really, really like. And if you have a wing who you think should definitely know about how to get better at bed and should know more about sex toys, then send him a link to this podcast, help a guy out. And just as I said in the beginning, if you're thinking about getting infield coaching, you can get a Skype call with me, get on a Skype coaching call with me. And if after the Skype coaching call you decide that, hey, I liked St. Robert's approach, I liked how he analyzed my sets or whatever it is we'll do on a Skype call, and if you decide you want to do some infield coaching, what you paid for the Skype coaching call will be as a partial payment for an infield coaching. It's basically a free Skype call if you decide to go for infield coaching afterwards. Well, that's it, guys. I'm off to finally do some day game in the lovely city of Budapest. Bye.